Hey, it's Rob here. Welcome to my video. Today we are going to add a dimmer control for the CNC light. It cost about 50 bucks worth of parts to do this, and took me about 5 or 6 hours. I just want to say you may void your warranty if you do this on a new machine. Always be careful around high voltages that can be dangerous. If you're not sure what you're doing, get someone to give you a hand. And that's it. Let's get right into it. Okay, so the first thing that we are going to do is this has an onboard multi-turn potentiometer. And we're going to remove it. And we're going to replace it with some wires with this little guy. And it's got a really nice knob. That's going to make it look nice. And just for safety, a fuse. So I think the easiest way to deal with this is actually first, be back in a second. Brought my screwdriver home from work.
You better take your box of Kleenex in there in case you sneeze.
I don't have time to sneeze when I'm on camera, honey.
Okay.
Just let it drip. I'm putting that in the video too. The first thing we need to do is figure out the orientation. So we're going to go into ohms. And we're going to find out which of these pins are connected together when this is turned all the way up. So just keep turning this till you hear it clicking. There, clicking. Now, according to the side of this potentiometer, it says the center pin is the wiper. So let's see. There's 0 ohms. And there's your 10K. 0 ohms. Okay. These pins are bent, which makes this a real pain in the butt to try to remove it. So I think what we're going to do is just heat them all up and try and take the whole thing out at one time. Just put lots of solder so the whole entire thing melts. And I may need a grabbing device. Let's see what kind of damage we did here. So what we're going to do now is just clean up these pads a little. Okay, you. That looks good. And then we'll do the same thing on this side. As with anything, don't rush. Take your time and make sure that you're doing it right. Okay, let's have a close look at what we got here. It looks good. Let's clean it up a little bit with some IPA. Need to get a cotton swab. Okay. This little hole on my desk is working perfectly for sticking that in. Okay. Well, that's the worst part of this whole entire thing. As you can see on this board, I don't know if you can see it or not, but there is a spot right there for a surface mount capacitor to be mounted on. They don't have it mounted on here, so I'm just going to assume that it's fine without it. It's on the wiper. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to see on this, turn it to full, and we're going to see which two pins. Pin 2 is the center. That's out here. So let's see which ones are full. So it's going to be pin 2. To what? 10K. 0. So these outside pins, are to full. So we're going to hook this up to the board. I had it before trying to mount it inside of the CNC. We're going to grab some wire and just let me see what I have here for wire. Yeah, that's the stuff. Okay. So let's say let's pick a nice color. The wiper is yellow. So I don't think that this needs to be any longer than just like at least marginally enough to get away from the board. So we're going to call it just that long, 2 inches. I don't want to add any kind of issues by having too long of a wire on here. Okay, so yellow's the wiper. We'll just make this. Let's solder up the wiper first. before we do anything, we got to tin this. And the wiper is the outside of this. And these wires do not have to go through holes or anything like that. That's just being fancy. If the solder doesn't hold it, nothing will. Okay, quick inspection. I'm not 100% happy. I'm going to add just a tiny bit more solder and move it over to center it just a little bit. And that's perfect. I think just these will be big enough. Let's just make sure. Yep. Okay, so we can close this. When this thing dumps out, not a good scene. Okay, let's put some heat shrink tubing on this. Now, yes, that fits perfectly. Just put the heat shrink on. It's good. Okay, now we're going to use black for the side that's full power, just because it's the one that's at 0 ohms, and 0 ohms makes me think ground, so I'm putting black. Obviously, whatever color of wire you use is completely arbitrary. The only thing about it is you're doing it for your own purpose. That piece of wire is slightly too short. Let's go with something just a little bit longer. And this can go away. So I'll do the same thing here. Tin this wire. And good. And piece of shrink tubing. And then the center one I'm going to put as red. Put a little coating on here. Sorry if you guys are not getting this angle, but it's the only way I can do this and see what I'm doing. Perfect. Put a piece of heat shrink tubing. Oh, you bouncy. Oh yeah, right under the camera. Come on. What we are going to do now is just trim these so they're roughly the same length. Then we're going to trim all these. The silicone wire, so nice to work with. We are going to solder those wires onto here, but only on the top side. I want this board to mount on the inside of the case, which is grounded, with thermal tape, so that if this does happen, if I ever do hook anything up to this that approaches 3 amps and this thing gets hot, that it will have some heat dissipation abilities into the enclosure, the metal enclosure. So this side is going to be completely smooth with no soldering on it, and all the soldering is going to be done on this side. The 0 is going to go on to this back side. And I think the easiest thing to do would be just to add some solder onto these 3 spots. But I do need to get in here pretty close for this. Okay. I really do recommend one of these if you have glasses and not that great a vision. They're super helpful. Okay, now let's hook up the, let's just start from the furthest away and work this way. So the furthest away was the one that was at 10K. So that is going to be this one. Okay, over there. And the next one is the wiper. And the last one is going to be the side that was at 0 ohms when it was at full. Okay, check these for integrity. And we are all good. This is done. So when we mount this, I might twist these a little just to keep them as looking as one. Yeah, you're good. Okay, that is prepared. The next thing to do is to put it into the CNC. So this CNC went through 4 upgrades. The initial upgrade before I even used it the first time, was to replace the logic circuits in it. Took out the 3 centimeter by 2 centimeter size circuit board out of it that I think had like 2 chips on it, and replaced it with an ESS smooth stepper. That was the first upgrade. The second upgrade was putting opto-isolators on it. The third upgrade was replacing the stepper motors and stepper drivers with ones with encoders, so that you had the machine has some kind of an idea where it is and whether it's lost steps. That's 2. Third one. The third one was replacing the power supply with a 24 volt. And at that time, I also in the corner back here, we have the ESS smooth stepper. This is a breakout board, which is just a simple way to connect. I do believe it has buffers and stuff on it as well. Opto-isolators. They are for all input signals, limit switches, home switches, and homing, and Z0, which I don't actually use. I find it easier just to use a piece of paper. So first upgrade, second upgrade, and third upgrade is the stepper drivers with encoders. Next upgrade was a new power supply, and with the new power supply I also put this really nice robust line filter. Replace the power supply and the line filter, and then the last upgrade was doing these, which was an interesting venture because I had not done anything like that on the CNC before. So the first thing we're going to need to do, because I am mounting this little guy, is gonna, I think, get mounted right here. So we are going to have to take this power supply out. Do I have enough room in there for it? Yep, that's perfect. So we'll take the power supply out, and need to find my wrenches. Now let's get this power supply out of here. This you must be a little bit careful with. Maybe let's do the top one first. I think that would make more sense. So as you can see, there's a number of things that connect here. That's the minuses. I'm on minuses, get out of the way. Okay, and these are all the pluses. One for you, a spacer. One for you. Come on. Come on. Spacer. And then this. There. So that's all the pluses out. Now we move this power supply out of here. Be very careful with not losing any washers, because these screw depths are kind of important. Okay, let's get you back down now, because the AC is still hooked up to this. Phillips. Okay, first the ground line. And then you got two pluses, two lives, both red. And two neutrals. Like I said in another video, so impressed with this power supply. 48 volts, 15.7 amps. Very nice. I do want to apologize to you guys for any weird croaking sounds or wheezing that I might make, or hacking, because I am sick right now. Alright. So while I have this a little bit more apart, you can see the line filter, super beefy. The only thing that's original in this, at this point, is these two switches on the front, this VFD, and the fan, and these these connectors just from here down. Now this metal is quite difficult to work with, and milling these out on the CNC makes a great way to add them all perfectly in line with each other, and so it can fit a whole lot more than it ever used to be able to. The 48 volts comes out of the power supply into the stepper drivers and also into this. This brings it down to 24 volts, which is what this relay board is for my coolant system. and also for the LEDs for the lighting. So this connector here is for the 5 volts in for the logic system. Come on, come on. And this connector here is for the 24 volts. So we need to find, I see it. I thought I'd stop hitting my head on that. So what we're going to be doing here is this 24 volts is no longer going to be coming from here. That should be okay there. So this 24 volts is going to come back into the regulator. And this 24 volts okay, L-splice. So we are going to pre-solder wires onto that. Let's start by connecting up the fuse. Whoa, don't be rolling everywhere. Well, let's see what'll happen. The solder will actually go down into there. And you can tin the wire and stick it in after. Oh, it's definitely solderable. The solder actually sticks to this stuff super good. So you got this way too long now. Doesn't have to be any longer than that. Guess that kind of works. So we will just take this long, put this in here. Okay, now you can go ahead and stick the fuse in here. Come on. can see what the heck I'm doing. Well, it's got a bob on it, but it's soldered well. Yep. Okay, and we'll just do the same thing. Roughly this much. Get this out of the way. And the yellow one, that's the one that dropped, isn't it? Back to every time something hits the floor, done, gone, never find it again. So I realize this is not the most efficient with it coming back on itself like this. But like I said, I do not want to redo all of this. Okay. So you can cut off. Okay, there's that. Prepare this. That's what that was, my other little piece of green. There's a nice one. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty close. Look at this. Something didn't feel right about that. Oh, it's okay. Alright, that is it. It is electrically connected. So let's make sure one more time. This is your 24 volts coming out of the 24 volt regulator. That comes in plus, in minus. That goes out, out plus, out minus. Plus is a fuse. Done. Now it's just a matter of drilling the hole. Now it's just a matter of drilling the hole, mounting this, and mounting this on the inside. Okay, so the next thing is to put the variable resistor through the front. I want to keep it the same level as this. So I'm thinking just here, or even here. Okay. Wow, that was really pushing this battery to the limit. I am going to just home out that hole a tiny bit. I think just for the safety of this thing. Let's make sure that we don't have any stray things floating around in here. Now, yeah. I think that this comes out way too far. And what I need to do is find another one of these nuts. It might just be one there. Let's see. That works. So we're just going to have it out just far enough and no more. A little more. Where's the wires on this? Are they sticking straight up? And now we need to mount the board in here. I'll see how I'm going to fit this in here. I think it may have to come like this. I think that's perfect right there. So what you want to make sure is that this is not going to short out. On the case. This stuff has great thermal conductivity and is amazingly sticky. So you want to make sure that you have enough to cover the whole board, because we're going to put 2 layers of this. Come on. You know you wanna. Okay. Now, that's good. Keep in mind that once this touches, it's done. Just stay there. I think that's good right there. And we'll just press it on a little bit. Make sure it's pretty well stuck on. I think what we're going to do is join these things together. Just to clean it up a little bit. Okay, that's good. Now, I'm going to put the power supply back in. Okay, and this is neutral. Don't ask me why I used a red wire. Okay, now double check. Now you can put the power supply in. You have all the live elements connected up properly. This power supply just fits in here. Just enough to get it started. Okay. That's how close it is to not fitting. Okay. Now it's just a matter of plugging it in, and you and I can discover whether it will work or go boom. Ethernet. This is your 12 volts out. That's this one. This is your 5 volts in. That's this one. Spin. Because that goes here. And X Y. Z. A. A usually falls down and does its own thing. It's not in the club. Limit switches go to here. X. These are the encoder inputs. Y. Z. And A. Okay. Hope this works. And there you go. Well, that's the end of the video. Hopefully you guys got something out of it. There actually is one thing I forgot to plug in the back of this, and that was the 12 volt power supply for the fans and the pump for the liquid cooling. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to put a like on it, and I hope that everything finds you guys well. If you have any dreams of doing anything, let's just get busy doing it. Hey, talk to you later. Bye.